So,
Yes.
Ange,
I can't even believe it.
I can't even. We're 3 years old.
So,
I know we
like I
act
keep
like
telling
it.
you.
But Black Boomer Besties from Brooklyn podcast, we're celebrating our 3rd-year anniversary.
We
We
are.
started in October of 2022.
Incredible.
I couldn't even believe at that
Incredible.
time what you got me into. And here
Yeah,
we are over
I-
100, well over hundreds of episodes,
yes.
revealing
Yes.
about love,
Yes.
friendships,
Yes.
thoughts,
Yes.
politics a little bit,
Yes.
but
All the
personal
things.
stuff. And just
Very
looking
personal
back over
stuff.
some of the things, I realized how much we've grown over these 3 years.
Oh my
So,
gosh. In front of everyone.
in front of everybody. So, what we've decided to do for the next few episodes is look back at some of our oldies but goodies, see if you still like them, if they're still enjoyable, if
Of course
our
they are. What do you
ideas have
mean?
changed, how I've fixed my teeth with my Invisalign. I just kept looking at my teeth and I'm like, what the heck?
We were
All the things.
all the things. We're just coming at you raw and natural. This particular episode was over a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. And it was, among other things, me kind of talking about sharing when I was too much for someone, a relationship that I was in. And it was so interesting looking at myself, listening to how I was feeling at that time. And yeah, but you're gonna see. Now remember, this was first aired in
Almost
January.
2 years ago.
Yeah, it was probably recorded at the end of 2022, but it didn't get published until January of 2023, I think, something like that. But anyway, it's been a while. And yeah, so whatever I have to say about that, know that it's been a long time.
You have a couple of things behind you. And the other thing,
Yes.
she does, well, I'll say, you do talk about a relationship that has ended and some of your insights about it afterwards. But you're in a relationship, in a loving relationship right now.
I'm in a beautiful relationship right now.
So I have to ask you, since you've reviewed the video,
Yeah.
have your feelings about that changed? You know,
Yeah.
looking back at it and saying, you know, would you have done anything different? Have you done?
Yeah.
Have you gained any more insight?
This is what I recognize. What I recognize is that, man, you were really solid. Meaning, I really did my work. I processed things in a way that I am proud because it was not easy. It was a very difficult time, and I did the work. There was nothing that I would kind of look back and say, ooh, I was feeling. The only thing I have to admit that I felt a little funny about is when you asked me if I still loved him, and I said no. And the way that things are now, because, you know, I do consider him a friend now. We're not in touch very often at all, but I do consider him a friend. But absolutely, it wasn't the same way that we were in a relationship before. I am in love. I am in a relationship, and but I do see him as a friend. We
Okay.
have kind of moved over to that stage. But it was, man, that was hard to revisit. So I hope you guys enjoy it. This was, again, at another phase in our lives. We were young. We were young podcasters, but we're still here, and we hope to be here for years to come. We hope you enjoy the episode.
And I want you to come with me. You know me, I always have an ask. So hit like and subscribe and turn on notifications. You want to hear all that we drop, and it's good stuff. I promise. Okay, enjoy this rebroadcast.
Thank you.
Hey, Ange.
Hey, Les, what's cooking?
Before I get into this, I want to say, because our viewers and listeners may not know when they see us, you sitting in a bed, me laying on the couch. So I got to let you all know. Welcome to another episode of Black Boomer Besties from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn!
Casual edition.
The casual edition.
You know, this is the first time that I've recorded our podcast sitting on the couch, laying on the couch. I'm like reclined with a cover over me.
I think the first time I did it reclining in bed is when we did an IG live, talking about when we had a live when we did the clitoris 101. But
Well,
yeah,
I've never
not a
before
real
been so
episode.
casual.
What's that?
I've never before recorded so casually.
Yeah, I know, but it was like we needed to have this conversation, and I kind of don't want to, but
We're good. We're
but
good.
I don't, but I'm okay with being pushed to. So it's like, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to be real relaxed. I wish I had an adult beverage.
Like I do.
Oh, you got one?
I do.
You make the best drinks. I have to tell you, you make the best. What's the one you make with the ting?
This is what I'm drinking. I'm drinking some ting with some gin in it. And it's
Wow.
refreshing. It was a hit
Yeah.
at Monique's holiday party too.
I remember having it, and I'm not a fan of gin, but with the ting, the gin and ting,
It
very
it's
good.
another level.
Yes.
So remember we had this conversation, and I remember exactly where I was. I was driving north in the Garden State Parkway, and
And you
exit
got me.
140. And you were telling me about a new project that you were starting. I don't remember what the project was, but
Yeah.
it was awesome. It was brilliant.
Yes.
And as I'm so often in awe of you,
Oh.
I said, who wouldn't want to be partnered with you? Like who wouldn't want to be around you just all the time? You
And to
remember
which I
I asked you
answered,
that?
I do remember. And I was like,
And then there was a pregnant pause.
should I start the list?
And then I'm like, oh, yeah.
And we're like, listen, we're not for
Yeah.
everybody. We are not. I know I certainly am not. But then, yeah, we started talking, and we're going to use the name Topher because that is, we both know who we're talking about while keeping the
Right,
appropriate
because that
anonymity.
launched into a conversation about Topher that
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting. First of all, Ange, I might need to change my glasses because I feel like I look like Mr. Magoo. Look how
Let me tell
I
you,
think it's the way that the light may be hitting these glasses.
Mr. Magoo never looked so good. He never looked so good. So you're okay.
I love Mr.
You're the
Magoo.
You're the coolest Mr. Magoo I've ever
Okay, so I'll
ever
leave the
done
glasses
seen.
on. Okay,
Leave
I'll
the
leave the
glasses
glasses
on.
on, but
You're
the light
good.
is hitting it in a weird way.
Yeah.
You and I vibe. I mean, you and I
For a long
click. It's
time.
like, I get you.
Yeah, you do.
But sometimes I almost get not overwhelmed, but You're a lot.
I'm a lot.
You're a lot.
I am a lot.
And as much as I feel you like this,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I I get a little anxious or nervous around you.
Yeah,
And
because
thinking about it, what happens is some of your energy, and you
mm-hmm.
have energy sometimes like this, right?
Mm-hmm. I do.
And sometimes when that energy hits me and I embrace it,
Mm-hmm.
then I become like this in a time when maybe I'm not ready for it.
Yeah.
So I get a little nervous for you, like, is she gonna pull this off? Is she doing too much?
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about it, it comes out that I'm with you
Right.
and I'm your number one cheerleader.
Right.
But then on your own,
Mm-hmm.
you may pivot from that
Yeah.
idea, even
Yeah.
though I was all in. It made
Mm-hmm.
sense to me. I signed off
Mm-hmm.
on it. I endorsed it. It's like, okay, good.
Right.
This is what you're going to
Right.
do, or this is what we're going to do, perhaps with the
Right.
podcast or with some other things that we collaborate on.
Right.
But then when you come up with another idea, then it's like, oh, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
And maybe some of this, what I'll call tension,
Mm-hmm.
which can be good or bad or neither, but
Sure.
this tension, maybe it comes from our left brain, right brain differences.
I think that's a part of it. I would go a little deeper into it, because I have studied and used um, a apparatus called Instinctive drives, which looks at your natural motivations and drives and ways of, you know, being.
Mhm.
And the way that I would frame it in those terms is that I I use improvise. I use the improvise drive very much. So improvise is one of my key drives, and it's actually avoiding improvise is one of yours. So
What
we're
explain that for the
so
people in the back?
so what that means is that I am always thinking about what's possible, not can we do it, but how can we do it? Like, what is the way to get it done versus, I'm not sure if we can do it. Eh. And you are more on the, not sure if we can do it. Should we really do it? I don't know, Ange. And I'm with the, yeah, we can. What do you mean? Of course we can. And there's no, one better than the other in any of this. But I think what I've learned to do when I interact with people who are more um, driven like you to avoid improvise, because you think about the how, and it's important for someone who's driven to improvise like I am, um, to actually get things done. I want to work with someone who is more on the how. But if
Mhm.
the person who is more wired on the how and looking at risks and things like that, they tend to not try really big, audacious things. So,
And that's where it comes in because when you present these big, audacious ideas,
yeah,
and because we communicate so well, you communicate with me and convince me
yes,
of how it's going to happen. Calm down, Les. This is what we're
right,
going to do, and this is how we're going to do it.
right.
Okay, I'm all in.
Hey, I just wanted to take a quick minute to have you recognize something that's happening in this episode. You'll hear me talking about instinctive drives, and I use it to explain how I'm wired, how Leslie's wired, how we kind of can understand each other more clearly. Instinctive drives is something that I started using in my corporate career over 15 years ago. It is something that makes you really clear about your gifts and your talents and to understand your needs, not your wants, but your needs. And you'll notice in this episode that I also use it in my personal life. It is something that is so powerful that it is the reason why I started coaching because it has been this incredible tool that I have used to create a life filled with joy and fulfillment because I am super clear about my gifts and my needs. I can do that for you. I don't equivocate about that statement. I can do that in my coaching for you. I've done it over and over and over again, and I started by doing it for myself. I work with women who are older, who are ready to get more fulfillment in their lives. And you can set up a free consultation with me, just 30 minutes, and you can see whether I would be a good coach for you. So if you feel like you're ready, it's time. You spent so much time feeling undervalued, feeling like you're doing for others and not for yourself, feeling like you have more time spent than time left to spend, and you're ready to make the most of it and to have more fulfillment, I can be your coach. I can help you to do that, to absolutely do that. So you will see a link below to schedule a consult with me. Go ahead and do that, and we'll see. Thanks.
But then if you say, wait a minute, I got another idea, or I got a
Mm-hmm.
different idea, or I
Right,
decided I'm putting this on the back burner, instead I'm
right,
going to do it this way, then we
right.
start that cycle all over again for me. And I'm like, you know me,
Yeah,
I'm change averse. I'm like,
sure, sure. Well, I think so. So what happens is that, and we've talked about this in earlier, probably in season one, that I ideate. I am an idea generator, and I
mhm.
ideate, and I'm really flexible, which is another one of my drives. Is the in instinctive drive speak and ID speak. I am um, I am an I avoid the complete drive, and you use the complete drive. So there again, we're opposite. We're opposite on those last two.
Mhm.
And so what that one means is you like harmony, you like things to be in a routine,
Very much so.
very kind of sequential. And I like to have flexibility. I like to see, okay, I made these assumptions here, or these were the givens at time A, but at time B, those things have changed. And so I want to adapt to the new
Hmm.
situation. I don't want
Hmm.
to just do the old thing because that's the way that we had planned, but things have changed. So
And I'm like,
we have to, right. And you're like, so so the thing is that one of the ways that I've learned to work with people who are wired differently from me is to let them know I'm ideating right now. This is not the time to think about how we're going to get 50 million things done. That's not my intention.
and me, I'm the doer. I'm
You're
like,
ready
stop
to
talking about it. Let's
you're
just go.
ready to
Let's
get
just
in
go.
gear.
Stop talking about it. It's like, it's like everybody who
Right.
knows me, it's like if I say, as soon as we start saying, that's when the plans start. This is
Exactly.
what we're going to do. And you're like,
And that's why it's so disruptive for you, is because you're already
because I've
in
already started it.
you've
Yes.
already started it, and I'm still trying to decide which one we're going to do,
Dang.
right?
You know what? That is such a perfect, succinct way of characterizing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what happens, and because you layer on top of it this long-term friendship and us knowing each other so well, but not only us knowing each other, but we want to make each other happy, and
Mhm.
we're very kind of considerate of the other person. And so you wanting to be my champion, show me that you're on board, and not just show me, actually be on board,
Mhm.
you may start absorbing while I'm coming up with ideas versus waiting until I decide on which one or two
Mm.
ideas versus 50 that I really want to go after.
It's almost like I'm jumping on it too quickly.
You jump on it, well, I won't even say two because that's kind of judgmental.
Hmm.
You jump on it faster than I intend for the actual execution to begin, right? So while I'm still thinking about which one, you've already started taking action on as many
Hmm.
of them as
Yeah.
possible. And I also
Man,
need
I do that.
flexibility.
That's true.
I know it's
You
true.
know,
What do you think? I'm chopped liver? This is true.
that's my
I know what I'm talking about.
efficiency tick off the boxes
Yeah,
mode.
right.
Wow.
So, but we stretch each other, right? Because um, I stretch you to be more flexible, because if you hadn't really been stretched, we would no longer be friends. You would think that I'm crazy
You
and
would
you'd
have
be
quit me
done
a
with
long time
me.
ago.
And you'd be
Oh,
done
I
with
would have
me.
quit you.
You
So
would have quit me. You would have quit me. And
like this woman is nuts. She's killing me.
but I think we both have
Maybe we
this.
wouldn't have made it to the 11th grade. We would have only like we met in the 10th grade. We would have just quit each other in the 11th grade.
And I have a great example of something that I want to share too. And then the other side is that once we get started, I need flexibility, because if I see a better way of doing it, I would I'm like, I am not bound by an old way that we thought would
Mhm.
work when there's a more efficient way to do it.
But also in your case, it could be a different idea completely.
It could, but I think what happens there a lot of times, Les, is that you and people who are wired like you, who have the similar drives that you have, is you do not see the linkages that I see. So it seems to you like I'm
Oh,
doing
that
these
they're
discrete
disconnected.
things that are disconnected. And in fact, everything that I do, I think is connected. Everything.
So in
Because I
other words,
hate
I need to
waste.
look a little higher up on the umbrella.
Yeah. Or trust me, which is usually what you end up doing, is is trusting me, because I do stretch you, but I don't steer you wrong.
But
Um,
for me, because I don't innately have as big a picture as you have, it
mhm.
does require me to put together what I see as disparate
Yeah,
pieces,
yeah.
and then later
Hmm.
on you show me that, hey, you see the connection, you see the thread. This was
Right,
there all along.
right, right. Because there's no way that I'm gonna start working on different things that I don't see a connection. Now, I may try something and it doesn't work, and those types of things, but
Mhm.
my planning is always aligned. It's
Mm.
it's always aligned in my way of thinking, because I'm usually trying to get, um I hate this term, but I haven't thought of a new one. I'm always trying to kill two birds with one stone. And so I'm
Mm.
always um, linking things that I think
Hmm.
we make one attempt and we'll check three boxes
Yeah, you
versus,
do that. Yeah, you do.
yeah. So here's the thing, like getting back to Topher, that was
Hmm.
so
Because I
interesting.
said, who who wouldn't want to be with you
Right,
romantically or connected or in your orbit?
right,
And
right.
then we started
And I
answering
said,
the
oh,
question. Wait a
I've
minute.
got one.
Wait a minute.
Is there one?
Is there one? Yes. What
But
happened with
here,
Topher?
Well, here's what was really interesting. Man, I'm thinking of so many things right now.
I'm sitting up.
So you know that, sorry, this thing just started to go dark. Okay, that's
You
better.
you look the same on my end.
Okay. So um
In your caftan. Go ahead, girl.
I love a caftan.
I know you
Listen, we're
do.
gonna have Black Boomer Bestie caftans before this is
I
through. Just
know.
know
You
that
told me I'm resisting.
that's gonna happen. We're gonna have a caftan club.
You heard when you
Uh,
just asked me to put on my caftan, I resisted, right? I'm
I
like,
know,
I'm
but
not ready
it's
for the
okay.
caftan yet.
It's Caftan. Listen, I
I'm
am.
not there yet.
It feels so good. It's so
Got
silky and yeah, all the
it.
things. So okay, there's so many things, so I'm gonna try to really focus in so
Mhm.
that you understand. So um, you know that when things kind of came to a head, what was the reason for the breakup was that I was more than he can handle.
And,
I'll
and
say
I'm
it a
just going to
different
stop
way.
you for a second because
Okay.
people are like, what the heck are they talking about?
Yes.
So I'll just succinctly say that Ange was in a long distance relationship with Topher, and they connected on a very deep level from my perspective, and certainly from yours.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that Topher decided
Decided. Mm-hmm.
that he didn't think that the relationship would have longevity
Right.
because
It would require that I would have to change too much for
mm,
him. So let's say just to make it simple, let's say
and
that
he did
I
acknowledge that you would likely change or want to change or whatever.
right,
Yeah,
right, that I couldn't fit into his box.
that's a good way of
Um,
putting it. Yeah.
right. And
You insisted that you could.
right, but hold on. So I couldn't fit into his box, and so I would really want to, and I would try, but in a few years, I would realize that I couldn't, and that's when dissonance was going to start to happen, and he wasn't
Hmm.
willing to take that chance,
Hmm.
right? And I was devastated. Like, what are you
Yeah,
talking
it was
about?
tough.
Of course I can fit in your box. And I realized after, it took a lot. This was one of the most difficult things that I've had to process and get to the other side of, that he was right.
Mm, that was
He
that
was
was
right.
the problem with that discovery or revelation was that
Hmm.
it didn't come immediately.
No, not at all.
We both thought that he was a little nuts with that decision,
Yes.
because you guys were getting along so well. But
Right.
here's some of his history. He had been in a longer marriage
Hmm.
that changed and they ultimately divorced. And
Right.
perhaps you and I thought that he just was afraid or not ready or it was too soon
Right. Right.
and that
Right.
he wasn't
But it
assessing
had
the
been it had
relationship
been five
properly.
it had been 5 years, so
I
it
see, I
wasn't
see.
like a
But
soon thing. But I initially felt that it was, as they say, some baggage from the past
mhm,
that
right,
came up.
yeah.
And I
And like, what are you
like,
talking about? It's like, yeah.
yeah, I thought this was my person. I really, really did. And what what made this a I'm not just saying it, I really feel it thing for me is when I saw the picture of I saw some wedding pictures. I saw that he had gotten married, and
Yeah.
I saw his beautiful wife,
Oh,
and my reaction was,
he
he's
was
so
right.
right, because that's so not me.
You could kind of see from the
I
pictures,
could
from
see
who
just,
they
that,
appeared to be
and
together.
maybe I'm making some of this up because I don't know the person, but from what I could see, it was there you go. It just became like, and so when I told you and you were
You
like, what
know
do you
what I
mean? You're
said?
not mad. You're not. I'm like, no, because I get it. I saw it. Like
And you
I
know how I
saw,
characterized the picture? You remember I said,
please don't
I said, oh,
don't say it, Les. Don't say it.
but
So you can say it
listen,
if you want. No,
let me
I'm
have a
just
little
saying
more
that.
ting and gin, and then I'll say it. No.
No, but the thing is, when you see something and the way it hits you is the real truth. It's
Clarity.
not like,
Hmm.
and the way it hit me, it was like, oh my God, he was so right. Because I may have been that for a little bit, and I might have wanted to, and it might have been just something that I, in a way, kind of sacrificed a part of myself. I may have been totally willing to do it because the
Yes,
love
because
was
we
so
love, and that's
strong.
what we do. We change. We change.
Yeah, yeah, but I think that first of all, he knew himself. So regardless of whether he knew me or not, or whether I was willing to do it or not, he
Hmm.
knew who he was. And he knew that whether it was fact or fiction, he knew that he would have felt that I was shutting parts of myself down. You know what I mean?
But would you say that
And
he knew you more than you knew you?
no, this is a subtlety, so stay
Yeah,
here with
yeah,
me.
yeah. Go ahead.
This is he knew himself
All
and
right,
he
I'm
knew
getting
how
in
he
deep
would have
now.
felt.
All right, go ahead.
He knew himself and he knew how he would have felt um, if he had any inkling or if I said anything that felt like it was in that ballpark, he would have started believing that because he knew himself. Does that hit?
Hmm.
And that I really
Say it a different way.
okay. So let's say someone says, I don't know if I can think of any. Okay, let's say he knew what he knew what he could tolerate, and he knew what he had sensitivities around.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so he knew if he had a feeling that I was um, diminishing who I was fully to fit into his box, if he sensed that, he knew that it would have been something that really troubled him.
Ah.
So that's regardless of
Ooh.
whether I was going to be able to do it or not. Because I used to think that, well, he didn't know me. He really didn't understand.
My gosh,
But
I'm like thinking that that is so deep.
yeah, it is really deep. The thing that lingers that I'm almost done with this also. The thing that lingered the longest is he should have told me and we could have arrived at the same place together instead of him getting there secretly, without communicating. And then it was this abrupt thing
And
for
then,
me. You know what I mean?
but a couple of revelations around that. I I concluded that he was a less than virtuous person,
Hmm.
by not being a little more forthright earlier, you
Right.
know.
Hmm.
However, in thinking about this, from what I remember of the few details about the relationship as it was still going on,
Hmm.
was that he was letting you know that he was concerned that your personhood or your lifestyle may not be compatible with him. And you, in fact, tried to let him know that there were two, because there were two sides of you,
Hmm.
that this is your entrepreneurial self or your online presence or your
Mm-hmm.
public view, whereas
Right.
the private core you was someone different.
Right.
So
Yeah.
whereas he was telling you of the concerns that he had, you were
Mm-hmm.
trying to explain to him that that outward appearance was not who you were at your core.
Right. Right. True. Here's the thing that he didn't believe me. He he would always say that you do XYZ with such ease. There's no way that
Mm.
you don't like, you know,
Yeah.
taking selfies or doing lives or whatever. There's no way. Or when I was doing the Hair Stories project, did you memorize that? It's like, yeah, I know it really well, and so I can say it without reading or
Yeah.
whatever. But it took effort to do that. I make it look easy, but
Right.
it takes effort for me to do it. So so he did not believe me, which really bothers me when
Yeah,
someone thinks I'm
yeah,
being disingenuous. That
yeah.
doesn't fly for too long with me because um I hold my honesty in on such a pedestal, just the way that
Right,
I
but
was
but I
raised.
I think that it's so nuanced that it in this case it wasn't necessarily that he was saying that you were being dishonest. He
Yeah, it
could have
was.
been saying that what
Yeah, it was.
you don't think that he was just saying like maybe you just are not aware?
No,
No,
because
he
it
was just
wasn't an
saying you're
awareness
lying to me.
thing. It's just like if somebody's telling you who you are and he's like, I don't know,
Nah,
then that
well, don't
that's
tell
that's
me
not
who I
a
am.
what's that?
It's like don't tell me who I am.
Exactly. Don't tell me who the fuck I am. Yeah,
Mm,
it was annoying. It was annoying um and then to know that he was making all these decisions based on it.
mhm.
And trust me, he didn't whatever what you just said about he was kind of giving hints. Not really, because you know me. If I smell something, I'm going to ask. I'm
Yeah,
not going to just, I'm going to ask, I'm going to check in, and I'm going to
yeah,
assume
yeah,
that
yeah.
someone's going
You're
to tell
really
me the truth.
upfront about things like that.
Right. It's like, if they say, oh, such and this, it's work or whatever, I'm going to believe you.
I'm like that too.
Just tell the truth.
Tell me, yeah.
So me extending grace became I was not being realistic. Well, I would be realistic if you would just tell me.
Mm,
You don't have to. If I'm asking you a question, give me the right answer. Give me the true answer.
I hear you.
But at the end of the day, I think that he was right, that he would have expected, I think, I'm going to say it that way. He would have expected me to keep a part of myself turned down because kind of that would have been what I signed up for.
Hmm.
And when I say a part of myself, for example, I don't think he would have been comfortable with me talking about the clitoris 101 or
Mm.
talking about boudoir photography or
Hmm. Hmm.
wanting to learn how to do pole dancing. Those things wouldn't
Yeah,
fit into his box. Now, it doesn't mean that I would have any issue in giving any of those up, because I do think in relationships you
but
make
the point
decisions.
is, and I think that this was a show of his love for you, is that
Hmm.
he wouldn't want you to give those things up.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
very true.
yeah,
Right. But my thing is, though, that would have been my choice.
yeah.
And I think that having been uh, married and divorced twice, there's certain things that um, I would be so willing to turn off or turn down or to forego to have a genuine friendship and deep, intimate connection with someone.
Mhm.
There are things that I would not have felt it a hardship to turn down. So I do think it was a mix of how he knew himself and what he felt would be kind of triggers for him.
Mhm.
And one of them is that he would have it would have been a forced thing versus a choice that I would make.
Yeah.
Right? Like coloring my hair, for example, right? You know, I
Yeah.
color my hair all the time.
Yeah.
Um, he actually thought that I would have an issue with not coloring my hair blue. I'm like, if the person that I love didn't want me to have blue hair, that wouldn't be something that I would feel, oh,
That
I
you
can do
would
whatever
fall
the
on
hell
your
I want.
sword
It's
for.
just not how I'm wired.
Yeah.
But it would be hard for someone like him to understand that that would not in any light be a hardship for me. It would be like, because
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I get that position though. I wouldn't want
you get what
to
position?
be, I wouldn't want to be the guy who says to your loved one, I know you love blue hair, but because I don't like it, you can't have blue hair.
Yeah, but listen,
Oh.
I know that that's a position. So okay, you stated that position. Here's a different position. A different position is blue hair means nothing to me.
Mhm.
It has, if in the priorities of life,
Right, right, right. Blue hair
he's
ain't
in
up
the
there.
top 100. The blue hair is there, but it's 105.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? And for
Sure,
me,
sure.
that's what compromise in a relationship is. And it
Yeah.
wouldn't be something like that was in, the top 100 things that I would want to do that I
I
felt like
understand
it
what
was
you're
such a
saying.
compromise.
Hmm.
But he made that choice for me. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
He felt just like you did. I wouldn't want to, but for me, that would be for me to
Yeah, I
say.
get it.
But here's where I said that he really knows himself, because if he thought that I was giving up something that I really cared about, it would be triggering for him. And maybe he would have a
Sure.
fear that I would grow tired of him or whatever.
And who knows, right, when, how, and when these issues presented themselves in his prior
Right.
relationships or so, sure.
Right. Exactly.
But now we
Exactly.
come back to where we started,
Hmm.
thinking, here I am thinking, when you gave me this, I remember just driving in the car and you're like, and I'm like, wow, I don't even remember what the idea was, but I remember my reaction to it saying like, that's a great idea, Ange. Okay, let's do it, or you do it, or whatever. And I'm
Yeah.
like, man, who wouldn't want to be with someone who thinks in this way, Because
Yeah.
it was that
Yeah.
innovation or that out there idea that was just
Right.
so appealing. And I'm like, wait a
Right.
minute.
Right. Right.
We are not for everybody.
Not for everybody. And guess what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm not for everybody, but I am for somebody.
That's good. That's good.
I am for somebody, and that I know.
Hmm.
And it's just, it'll happen. It'll happen. So,
Because you would think, and I'll say it this way. Who I guess you got to live a little bit to be able to see this and realize it. Like, why wouldn't you want someone who is um kind, godly, nurturing,
mm-hmm,
Ivy League educated,
mm-hmm,
entrepreneur,
mm-hmm,
entrepreneurial? You know
mm-hmm.
what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like we you mentioned ticking off boxes. You would
Mm-hmm.
think like, oh, if you were to put this on Tinder, people would swipe right. Whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But
I think
I'm just, you know what I
everyone,
mean?
Yeah.
But, and then when you dig a little bit deeper, you realize that, wait a minute, it's not just about ticking the boxes and this and that. It's that you start really addressing some core issues or core fears, core
Right.
concerns, anxieties,
Right.
your history and who you are, you
Right.
know,
Right.
then it gets a little more complicated.
Yeah.
Or
It
as you
it
always say, you
does.
got to dig a little bit deeper, that you can't stay superficial.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, when you mentioned
I.
to me about the photograph of the wedding,
Hmm.
it became a little bit clearer to me as you described how, you know, he wasn't, you know,
Yeah.
your person, or you weren't his person.
And therefore we weren't meant for
Right.
each other. Um, yeah. I have to say that it was such confirmation for me the way that my body reacted to seeing the
Mm,
picture, because it was involuntary, right? You see a picture and
mm,
it's someone that you used to love, and and well, it was like, oh, there it is.
mm-hmm.
There it is. He was right. Um,
You say
because that I
you
couldn't
still
be.
love him, right? Or no?
Uh, no,
Really?
definitely not in the way that I used to. And
Well, of
no,
course
I
not.
don't.
I don't expect
No,
that.
no, no, I don't. I I wouldn't use the word love. I don't love him anymore. I just wish the best for him. I don't wish him any harm, and
Right, right. Yeah.
occasionally I pray for his joy. But no, I wouldn't say that. Mm-mm.
Wow. This almost
Yeah,
sounds like it
I
needs to
think
be a whole
because
other podcast
he
talking about the love. You
well, I
know.
think he caused more pain than was necessary.
But look how many lessons came from it.
Still, so you could
But
learn
you know how
lessons, and
I believe that the Lord works in a way that we get the lessons
he
that we're
does.
supposed to have.
He does, but it doesn't mean that you keep loving someone who's hurt you. You could
I
learn a
don't mean
lesson
the
and
eros love. I mean
no any kind of love.
agape
Here's
love.
let's move into the well, the thing is, right? I do agree. I believe that God allows things in your life for the lesson to be learned. I don't think that God expects you to love the people who teach you these lessons necessarily, because
Right.
some of these
Okay.
lessons, right? It's
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, for
you could
sure.
have one without the other. It doesn't have
Oh
to.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So, lesson learned. No, I no longer love him
Hmm.
because um, I was too open a communicator for him to not,
Still
for him
disappointed.
to kind of go off on this tangent by himself without letting me know that this was percolating.
Mm.
And the other
Almost like a
thing that,
cowardice.
yeah, it
Fear.
was cowardly. Yeah, it was
Hmm.
cowardly, I thought. And also because um, when I was surprised by, when he actually told me, he said, "Well, if you were paying attention, you should know."
You should
And I
know.
thought that was really
That's the
hurtful
word.
because I was,
Hmm.
I was like, I was so paying attention. I'm like,
Hmm.
that's what grace is because I believed you.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? When you said it was because of this, that, and the other, I believed you.
Wow.
I didn't hang on and say, nah, he's
All
bullshitting
right.
me, he's blowing smoke. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
for that, I had to kind of put that in its box and
Yeah, yeah.
wish him the best. But I wouldn't say that.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I
we got each
know.
other. I get you. I
That's for
feel you.
sure. You do. And even when you don't get me, you don't mistreat me.
That's true.
That's it. You just have to be honest.
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
And
That's a great way to
whatever,
end too.
yeah, whatever you're able to say when you can't say it anymore, you can say it months before. You could
I
get
get
up
it.
the
I get
you
it.
could get up the courage sooner rather than later
Don't
and
go to punk route.
avoid a lot of pain. What's that?
Don't go to punk route.
Don't
Don't don't be a punk.
don't be a punk. Exactly.
You know what? That's a great way to end this. Don't be a punk. And this has
Don't be
been
a
another
punk.
episode of Black Boomer Besties from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.